Hi, today we're at Hampton Beach. We're on Hampton Beach in New Hampshire. And it's a cold March day. It's actually March 13th. But I'll tell you, winter is a great time to find shells. Normally in the summer, a lot of them are down behind me in the north end. Well, we just walked from the south end all the way to the north end of Hampton Beach, and there's shells everywhere. So if you really like to go beachcombing, come in winter. Just dress warmly. You'll be all set. So look down and let me show you a sample of what we found today. If you want to start over here and look over here, all of these are snails. All of those are univalves, meaning one shell, okay? So you've got slipper shells. Here's a big slipper shell with some pretty colors. Moon snails all over the beach. I just love the color and pattern of those. And then you have the dog whelks. And look at this one. It's a monster. That one is like probably the biggest one I've ever found. So dog whelks are common out here, moon snails, and your common periwinkles. So all of those are snails, and some of them vegetarians, but some of them like to eat clams and other snails, and that's the moon snails. Very pretty, and they can get really big. Last time we were here, after a big storm, we found a ton of those. And actually, there's a big storm coming up in a couple of days. We're going to have a nor'easter. I would love to be back here then, because that's when you find even more. So here we have some, these are the bivalves now. These are big horse mussels and the little blue mussels and a black clam, okay? It's also called a hard shell clam. It's got a very hard shell. And I found a beautiful piece of oyster. So that's an oyster shell. It's also a bivalve. And here is an Arctic wedge clam. Arctic wedge clam with a little hole in it, like maybe somebody had drilled through that hole and had his dinner. We've got some nice surf clams here, little ones and a huge one. The jackknife clams. And I also have a piece of scallop. Now this is a bay scallop, and typically I don't find that many out here in Hampton Beach. You'll find a ton of them down Cape Cod because they like the warmer waters and they like the peaceful bays. But the bay scallop, that's what that is, just a piece of it. Back here, you'll notice I have some crab carapaces. It's what they call the shell of the crab, is a carapace. I think that's the rock crab, but I've got to kind of double check my crabs. Got some nice driftwood. And if you come over here, here's kind of like the big treasure of the day. I think this is just a jingle shell. And I believe, I'm pretty positive, this is a small portion of a 10 ridged whelk. Really special to find those. Last time I've seen one of these was in Plymouth, Mass. And it was a whole specimen, just gorgeous. They're also called the Neptune whelk or the New England whelk. Really pretty. And then right here we have what is called a basket snail, also called the New England whelk. Actually, that one's the New England. That's the 10 ridge or the Neptune. And then here we go. Look at these. These are great. These are Tortoiseshell Limpets. And those are also a snail. So these guys are all snails, and they're univalves. Now these limpets, they like to hang on to the rock. And once they find a little spot in the rock that they like, they come back to it every time. So they go out and they feed on the algae, and then they come back and they like to settle into the same place. Really pretty shell. Hard to find those. You really have to take your time, look down, walk slowly, like it says at the end of my book, Seashells, Treasures of the Northeast Coast. You'll find all of those in my book and others. But from Hampton Beach, I want you to take a good look around. It's a gorgeous day, and I'll see you next time.